Greetings, future scholars of America, Mr. Barfield, with a conclusion paragraph video. Hey, get out of here, Hamlet. Stop trying to impersonate me, Skulls. But he's right. Today's topic is about conclusion paragraphs. Feel free to pause, rewind, or rewatch this video as many times as you need to get the best notes possible. Today we're going to learn not only how to write a conclusion paragraph for your essay, but also the purpose of a conclusion paragraph and why they're important. The last paragraph of your essay needs to provide your reader with a sense of closure, a good finished feeling, like they've accomplished something or learned something. You wrap up your thoughts. You don't introduce new ones in your conclusion. You restate your central argument, your main points, your evidence. You leave your reader with a strong, satisfied feeling, like you've just eaten dessert. No, you've got to do all this with brand new, fresh word choice. Don't just repeat stuff that you said earlier in the essay word for word. Mix it up a little bit. In the introduction paragraph video, I mentioned how intros are like an upside down triangle, right? So you start with something really broad and general, like the hook, and then you get more specific to your thesis. For a conclusion paragraph, it's the exact opposite. You start with something really specific, your thesis, restating your thesis, and then you broaden it out to something general that everyone can relate to. The structure of a conclusion paragraph is as easy as I couldn't think of an acronym as good as ABC, so we're going to go with Number 1, restate your thesis. 2, recap your main points. And 3, reflect on the question, so what? Restate your thesis. Here's how it goes. If this was my thesis in my intro paragraph, I'm going to mix up the word choice and rearrange it so that I'm basically saying the same thing, but different, with fresh words. So here's how it would look. Mix it up. Recap your main points. Briefly restate your supporting arguments. Recap like a reverse roadmap, but in the order that you introduce them. Don't introduce new ideas, just stick with the ones you've already gone over in your body paragraphs. For example, if I said that the consequences of fear are found in events throughout the story. 1. Abigail uses fear to manipulate those around her. 2. Reverend Parris clings to the belief that the devil is out to get the people of Salem. And 3. John Proctor's death proves to be the ultimate price that is paid for giving in to fear. So basically what I've done with recapping my main points is I've restated my topic sentences for my body paragraphs and maybe mixed in a little bit of the analysis that I did as well with those paragraphs. Then you reflect on the question, so what? Some people call this the final word or the clincher of your essay. It's like a hook, but at the end. You can even refer back to your hook if you want to. You're going to answer the question, so what? Why does this matter? What's the point of this essay? Why should I care? Why is this stuffy old book still relevant to today's readers? If you're trying to persuade your readers of something, you might want to end with something called a call to action, which is like a command or a demand that you make of your reader, like don't give in to fear. If your topic has universal relevance, draw that connection. Like everyone is afraid sometimes, but it's what you do with your fear that matters. So here's my clincher, my final word for my crucible essay. Although the witch trials occurred over 300 years ago, their lessons remain relevant for Americans in the 21st century. I'm supposed to say century. Our society still has plenty to be afraid of. The question is, will we let it rule us, or can we conquer it for the common good? We must face our fears unless we want history to repeat itself. See, that's something that everyone can relate to, whether or not you're familiar with the crucible or not. So that's a good clincher, good call to action. Don't be afraid. Reminders, final reminders for your conclusion paragraph. Don't end your essay abruptly. You need to end with a nice clincher, something that ties it all together and leaves the reader feeling satisfied. Don't use ideas that aren't your own. If you're going to use ideas that aren't your own, you really need to cite it properly, and the conclusion paragraph isn't really the place to do that. But you can be creative and use your own personal style and voice. Nothing wrong with a little humor as long as it's appropriate. Your conclusion paragraph is also, especially your clincher, is an okay place to break that no personal pronouns rule. As you saw with some of my examples. Anyway, so that's how to write a conclusion paragraph. So, good luck and get to work. Thanks, Hamlet.